broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome, everybody. This is Victor Lund from the Wave Group. We appreciate you joining us all here today for what I believe will be a very valuable webinar that helps you sell more real estate today. My role in the real estate industry is I'm a founding partner of the Wave Group. We're a research and consulting firm specifically in real estate technology. We help MLSs, large brokerages, associations do a lot of their strategic planning and plan their technology footprint. I'm also the Chief Executive Officer of RE Technology, a resource that agents use daily to learn more about how to use real estate technology in their business. Joining me today is, I'm very glad to have Krisstina Wise from the Good Life team and Coffee with Krisstina here. Krisstina has spent her entire adult life working in the real estate industry. She has her own brokerage that she founded after working for a big box franchise company for a number of years. And one of the things that has been the cornerstone of what the Good Life team has done is they've introduced some technologies into the real estate practice that really nobody else in the industry has been able to effectively do. So Krisstina, are you with us?
I am. How are you?
I'm doing well. It was very nice to see you at the Inman conference last week in New York, and congratulations on being nominated to one of the top 100 professionals in real estate.
Well, thank you. It was a big honor, and it's a really honor to be part of your webinar here today. I so value what you do for the industry and just the content and the change and the leadership that you offer. So big thanks to you as well.
Yeah. So, some of the things that you guys have been able to do are things that, we get, at the MN conference we were inundated with information about mobile and about paperless and about how to manage transactions more effectively and how to deliver more customer service. And it's pretty astounding that, in front of this brigade of information was your company there in Austin and the kinds of things that you guys have been doing.
Well, yeah, so I opened the conference with Brad Inman in his conversation where he was challenging the industry, I think, from my point of view, about why can't, he's being, obviously, we can't have a lot of, yeah, as a real estate transaction, it's not that simple, but where Brad was challenging the industry, again, from my point of view, is why can't it be a little bit more simplified? What is it about our industry that has so many parts to it that make it unlike a latte experience, and what can we do to be more fluid in how we offer a full customer experience when we're offering our real estate services. So it was an honor for me to be on that panel because part of what we're working to do at Good Life Team is to be that latte experience, is where the way we offer our real estate service to the Austin marketplace, the Austin buyers and sellers, is that it's a 5-star experience. They offer us a 5-star review. So, we've put a lot of technology and other pieces into play to be able to offer that sort of experience. So anyway, we are working to create a full latte experience for our customers.
Yeah, just to kind of follow up to that a little bit, one of the things that is a reality when we start talking to agents about what it means to be a great customer service provider, we find that the customer service experience is not only pointed to how you're helping your client, but also how you're communicating with the agent helping their client who's on the other side of the table in that transaction. And certainly the pivotal milestone in that is to be able to have information and resources at your fingertips at any given time. Where are we on this or that or the other things that are happening in the transaction? Do you find that in your practice there at the Good Life team that's one of the things that also emerges as a way of fulfilling the customer promise?
Yeah, a big part of what's happened is we're in something, with all the studies I've been doing, we've really moved from what we've normally thought of as customer service and offering a good customer service to now what's been being talked by sort of the pundits is we're in an experience economy. So that means we have to provide a full experience to the consumer, and that is difficult in real estate because there really are so many parties to transaction. And then so that sort of begs the question, what is a full customer experience? And sort of touching on, I think, the question you asked. And a customer experience, it's looking at every single touch point that the customer, the consumer has with our brand or or with our real estate operation. So that's not just a service maybe I provide as a real estate agent or my company provides as a real estate brokerage and my agents might provide, but what's every touch point that the consumer connects to, like how we engage with that and then what their experience, how they feel at that specific moment. So I think, sort of the challenge now is to look at our operations that for many of us have been in play for a long time and reinvent them in a way that each touch point to think about that and think how we do offer a better experience where we make our clients feel something. And that's what we're working to do at Good Life Team, and we know mobile is critical to that. Like our customers expect us to know how to be mobile, and the mobile enables us as a touch point and a place of engagement now that differentiates us from our competitors. And it's a whole different level of experience now that we're being able to offer that we really couldn't offer before. So yeah, every single piece of that is really important.
One of the things that really separates you apart is that we go to these conferences and you read blogs and best practices and things like that. And I think everybody agrees with what we should be doing in real estate. And I think that there's a huge audience of real estate agents who want to accomplish these goals in their business. But at the end of the day, most agents and most brokerages are powerless at understanding how to pull the tools together and be able to actually deliver those goals. And with that, I'd like to introduce Gary Wise. And Gary, you guys have actually done this in your business. You do it every day in your business. Every one of your agents apply these tools in the same way in helping their customers and communicating with other agents. And I really want you to begin and just show us how you apply real estate technology to actually accomplish these goals. You don't talk about them, you deliver them. So welcome to the webinar, and let's get started.
Absolutely, and thank you, Victor. I'm gonna pass this back to Krisstina real quick because I know that Krisstina wanted to start out with a few stats and talk about some different things going on in the industry. Krisstina, are you still with us there?
Yeah, I am, and I'll be very quick because I know everybody's on the call really to listen to you, Gary, to really have some takeaways and some real learning tips on how to use iPad and be mobile in the marketplace, and how I know you're going to share a lot of sort of what we do at Good Life Team in order to provide sort of the experience that Victor and I were just talking about. Real quick, I think most people on the call might know this, but that we've won some pretty amazing awards over the past several years. And for me, the reason why I'd like to speak this to everyone on the call is because we're only 20 people in Austin, Texas. I see most of the industry, when they come across our brand, they think we're an enormous brand. They think that we're hundreds of agents maybe, or many locations, and we're not. We're one location in Austin, Texas. And what we've been able to do, because we've employed these technologies, because we have innovated, and because we've been willing to change, the marketplace has noticed this little bitty company, and if we can do this, I know everyone can do it. And it really started with the Inman Innovator Award in 2010, where we won the most innovative brokerage by Inman, just really for our web experience. We're one of the first that did WordPress platform, custom WordPress, and sort of came out of the box with some sort of new design and be willing to invent when it came to the website space. Our next real sort of big accomplishment was Apple in 2012. Apple came, and we're in an Apple commercial, and Apple, what they did is somehow they got wind that we're using iPad and mobile, and this was over a year and a half ago. And so they came in and they were so curious, like, how is it that your entire company uses iPad and you're mobile and you're this small business? And so it's really a coup and an honor to work with Apple, but then of course to be featured in an Apple commercial. And you could find that if you search for Good Life Team and Apple online. This last year, I think in October, we were featured. USA Today actually came to Austin, Texas, and took video and interviewed us, and we were in the first page money section of USA Today on a small business gone mobile. And again, they were just it was mysterious, and they're curious, and they just want to know, how the heck are you guys using mobile and being so innovative for real estate? Because real estate to the rest of the marketplace is really sexy. Everybody loves real estate outside of our real estate industry. And then I'm an Inman ambassador, Good Life Teams. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to jump in for a second. you know, as I hear you go through this, Krisstina, one of the things that amazes me is that a lot of people, when they look at real estate, they say, oh my God, the dark boroughs of real estate where everything is so challenging and so difficult and so onerous. But, you know, really what you're seeing here, or what I see here when I see Apple and companies like Evernote, which you're about to talk about, and USA Today, beginning to look at your businesses, they're saying, this is a company that's overcoming challenges that not only face the real estate industry, but it faces every industry. And it's just continue on, but I just want everyone to know that every industry is facing the same challenges as it relates to mobile and paperless and all these other things that you guys are doing, which I think is probably what's pulling on a lot of this recognition that you're getting on a national scale.
It is, and that's it. I'm going to sum up there. The final thing is Evernote. Gary's going to talk a lot about Evernote, but Evernote's another tool that we're really using. So we use Apple as a tool. We use Evernote as a tool. We use, of course, the iPad and many different things as tools as part of this new this new experience economy. So Gary, I know you're all here again. I put this out there so you all sort of know the importance and where we're moving, and then we wish to share with you sort of how we're doing this in the marketplace to get some of this recognition. But at the end of the day, it's all about how we serve our buyers and sellers. So Gary, why don't you jump in?
Well, thank you very much. I know everybody's here anticipating some training for the iPad and using it in the mobile world here in real estate. So let's jump in and get started. A couple of things, just housekeeping things. If you have questions as we're going through this webinar, use the toolbar on the right where it says the GoToWebinar questions and type in your questions there, because at the end of this training, Victor and I are going to talk a lot about what kind of questions you have. Victor's going to be working to collate the most popular questions that we have there, and then he and I are going to discuss it and answer your questions for you. So make sure you do that. And so what you're seeing here on the screen right now is my iPad. In fact, I'm going to swipe it back and forth real quick. If you can see that, go ahead and type in the questions section, yes. I want to make sure that everybody can see this and you're able to see it effectively. So because, yep, I'm seeing a ton of yeses. Fantastic. Oh, my gosh. I think everybody's saying yes. Fantastic. Well, we have hundreds of people here on the call today, and so what we're going to do is we're going to take you through a 5-step listing appointment using your iPad. So if you're taking notes, this is what you want to do. This is our 5-step Good Life listing appointment, and all we use is our iPad. So go ahead and write that down, and we're going to go through every single step, and I'm going to talk about every single app that we're using. And so we're going to go through my entire iPad here, talk about the different steps. So step number 1. Well, first and foremost, you've done a lot of research. Like I would have to say a majority of the work that we do at the Good Life team, and I'm sure you do this as well as a realtor, is you're doing a ton of research before you go on a listing appointment. Well, we're assuming all of that has been done because that is so much value and so much information there. We couldn't get through all of that in an hour here. But what we're going to start out with is the listing appointment. So assume in your mind that you just showed up to your client's house and you're showing up for a listing appointment. Well, the app that we're going to talk about first, and you might want to write this down, is Evernote. So step number 1 is understanding your seller's concerns. And so if you'll write that down, and we're going to jump right into Evernote here, and I'm going to show you where in Evernote we store things and how we store them. So number 1, if you're not currently using Evernote, Evernote is one of the 3 must-have apps that I recommend. And that's the great thing. There are only 3. Like you can use interchangeable different apps for different things, and I'm great with that. In our system, there are 3 must-have apps, and Evernote is one of them. It's critical. So in my notebook section here, you'll see how I have things organized. I have a notebook for prospective clients, one for buyers, one for sellers, one for closed, and then one for all of our templates. Well, I'm going to jump into this seller's notebook because, remember, we just showed up to our client's house, and the client we're going to use for this example is Robert Watson here at 3110 Eaton Circle. So I'm going to open that up, and let me show you all of the information that I have in here. Now this, I went ahead and completed this so you guys can see what it looks like when I have a full folder complete for a client. But what I'm going to talk about is 2 different things. Number 1 is that in this conversation, when I sit down with my client at the listing appointment, I'm doing 2 things. Number 1 is I'm sitting down. Very first step is we're not touring the home. We're taking control of the situation. We sit down at the dining room table, and I say to Robert Watson, as I open up his notebook, I say, Robert, thank you so much for the phone consultation that we had. I wanted to make sure that all of the information you gave me then is still accurate. And so we will review the entire consultation. Now keep in mind, all of this data, all of this information, I collected during our initial phone consultation before I went out to the house to really allow me to do all my research. I captured Robert's contact information. I have it all right here in Evernote. Best time to reach them, where the client came from. This was a web lead, what their interest is, how, what is their experience. I need to know all of this information, and I'll review it with them at the dining room table during step one. Say, you know what, Bob, I want to make sure that you still think your home is worth $475,000. We spoke 3 weeks ago to set up this appointment. Has anything changed since that time? Is there anything different now? And so what will happen is that we'll go through with this and really talk through the entire conversation here of what has happened. Bob, have you paid down your loan at all? Do you still owe $227? Bob, I also want to make sure that your goal is still to sell and move before the next school year. So I'm going through this, going through his concerns, his objectives, talking about the next steps. And as we're going through here, I'm taking more notes about exactly what it is that Bob might say in our updated meeting, because things might have changed. I may need to take more notes, and I'll take additional notes here. And I'll continue taking notes about everything that our client is saying. Additionally, for our agents here in Austin, we have a guide to using this template, and this is a template. While I mentioned that, I do want to hop back to our templates notebook here and show you something. That one thing we do, and I'm sure you guys have templates for everything that you do. One thing Krisstina, our founder and CEO, who you heard just a minute ago, is adamant about is that if we ever do anything once, document it, store it, and create a template. So, like this, we have a client consultation template. You just saw the completed document of that. Well, this is the template. So what I would do is I would copy that, and I would go into my seller's notebook there. I would paste it right here into this initial consultation and make sure I can take their notes. And what's really great about this is you're seeing how fast I'm able to do that right here on the iPad. One thing I want to mention, a little bonus here about Evernote, is it syncs with your iPad, your iPhone, or your Android devices, and the web version, and your desktop version. So everything syncs, and you'll have this wherever you go whenever you need it. So that is step number one, is understanding the concerns and really verifying, making sure that the client's concerns are still the same as when you met. And if they've changed, hey, that's fine. We just want to make sure that we update that information so that the client's notebook here is complete and updated. So we go through that, making sure that we understand the client's concerns so we can address them during that appointment. Step number two, inspecting the property with your client. This is commonly known as the home tour. This is where the client tours you through the home. Well, one thing I want to note is that we don't tour homes when we're working with sellers. What we do is we're really inspecting the property. And we're doing that for a few reasons. Number one, we're making sure that if there's any repairs that need to be done, we're making an assessment of the updated value of the home. Is the home really worth what we thought it was when we did our CMA? We're making sure that, gosh, do we need to get a professional stager in here? What do we need to do to help our client prepare that home to be able to sell it and really for the highest value? So we're going to completely have that conversation, and I'm going to go back into Evernote and I'm going to show you where we do that. So back here in the seller note, you'll see that there's a note. Let me get back in here. It says right here, listing appointment. So I have the note for the listing appointment. And what I'll do, and by the way, I went ahead and I completed some of the information in here so we can have the information to talk about in this example. But what we'll do is I'll go through the house, and this is another template where I have the client's name, the property address, recommended price, home features, and I'll go through and I will complete the information with recommended repairs, etc. I'm going to go through and really complete the information thoroughly, so when I get back to the office, I'm going to make sure that I have all of the information that I need for my team to start marketing this home or to get in there and start doing some repairs. So we'll have all this information. I'm taking some notes. One thing I want to mention is, I don't know about you, most people talk faster than I can type. And if that's the case, you need a better way to document everything, right? So if you're going through the home and the home features and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many home features here, I can't document every single home feature here with just typing. Well, there's a faster way to do that. Up here, you see this microphone, and down here, you see the cursor. Well, keep in mind, you want your cursor, when you start recording audio, which is what you're going to do up here, you want your cursor wherever you want that audio file dropped. So if I'm in a home features conversation and we're walking through and I'm learning about the home features, I'm going to come up here, I'm going to select that microphone, and when I select that microphone, you're going to see it's going to start recording the audio. And so we're going through, you see it, it's recording audio right up here. That is my voice as I'm speaking right now. Now, when I'm done talking with the client, and by the way, I'll tell the client, I'll say, hey Bob, we're walking through the house. I'm going to record our conversation because I don't want to miss a thing. And the client's always excited, like, hey man, that's great. How are you going to do that? Oh, I'm going to use my iPad here. They're like, wow, man, that is so cool. And then when I'm done talking, I select done, and bam, you saw that? That Evernote was just, or that audio file was just completed and stored right here where the cursor is. One question I got from somebody, and I was actually stumped because I didn't know the answer to it at first, but the question was, can you record audio and type at the same time? And the answer is yes, you can. And so you do that, you come in here, you select done, and it stores that audio file right where that that cursor was. So you're totally set there. You're able to have everything. You can type. You can store everything as you're going through the home. One last thing to mention. You see a picture down here. I take photos, and I take a ton of photos when I'm on a listing appointment and touring the home. So I'll go through, I'll tour the home with the client, I'll take photos, and you do that right here with the camera. So you'll go through, you'll open up that camera. Keep in mind, wherever the cursor is, that is exactly where that picture is going to drop. So if I'm going through here and I'm updating everything, what I'll do is I'll make sure that I have my cursor wherever I am. I'll take my photo right up here and drop it right here. And I take a ton of those photos and save them in there. Going on down, I'll get showing instructions and does the client have pets. I'll even document lifestyle features, and I'll ask the client, gosh, well, how far away from the high school? How far away from this? Or I'll prepare this in advance, and I will have absolutely everything right here in the client's note, which up here you'll see it is the listing appointment with Robert Watson. I mean, how cool is that, that you have absolutely everything in one place from that listing appointment? So there you go. Step number 2, inspecting the property with the client. Now, step number 3 is the marketing plan. And what you'll want to do when you're using your iPad is you'll want to load your listing presentation, whatever listing presentation you or your broker has presented for you in either PowerPoint or PDF or Keynote, whichever format you want to use. We use it in Keynote, and so we're going to teach you how to open this up and use it in Keynote. So step number 3 is the marketing plan, presenting your marketing plan in Keynote. So I'll open up Keynote, and you're going to see here I have our, as soon as it loads here, I have our Good Life Team listing presentation, our marketing plan. I'm going to select that. It's going to open it up, and this is really cool. You're going to love this because when I hit play, it really splashes beautifully here. So I'm going to select play. It's going to start that presentation. We have it set to where you see I can enter my client's name and address down here. Again, you're looking at the template. And then as I tap through it, we go through our entire marketing listing presentation with the client. So we talk about our decision process. This is what we're going to do today. This is what we're going to talk about. And by the way, at the end, we're going to have a mutual decision on whether or not I'm listing your home. And what that does is it totally sets your client up for what's coming. And what's coming is that we are going to make a decision by the end of today. No more of our agents going out and meeting with clients and having a listing appointment and coming back and the agent or the client says, well, let me think about it. We don't work that way. What we do is we let our client know by the end of our listing appointment we're going to have a mutual decision. So we'll go through and we'll do our presentation, talk about why the Good Life team. Hey, meet the team. Here's our 5-star promise. Here's our awards and accomplishments. And this is, you guys get the point. But that's what we're using, is we're using Keynote here on the iPad to be able to professionally present that to our clients at the dining room table in their home. So that is step number 3 of our 5-step Good Life listing appointment, and that is reviewing the marketing plan with a client. All right, I want to take a break here, make sure that everybody is able to submit more questions because we are going to be able to answer as many of those as possible. I have a commitment. I'm going to stay on as long as I can to answer as many of those questions. Now, step number 4, you want to write this down. Step number 4 of our 5-step listing appointment is the pricing conversation. And there are 3 different apps. You might want to write these down as well. 3 different apps that we use during this timeline. And the 3 apps are Ibooks, right here. This is a native app. It comes on your iPad. You actually have to download it now, but it's a free app with Apple. Ibooks, we're going to talk about Skitch. Great thing about Skitch is owned by Evernote. So once you do something in Skitch and you have it linked to your Evernote account, it automatically puts that Skitch note into Evernote. And then the third one we're going to talk about is numbers. So let's go ahead and start off with Ibooks in our pricing conversation. Remember, we've already done a ton of research. We've done the marketing analysis, and what I've done is I have emailed into my iPad here my CMA. So I'm going to come in here. You see right up here I have different collections. You can store your different collections. You can have books, purchase books, PDFs. I have buyers and sellers. You can always create new collections here and store them. You see if I switch over to buyers, I have a buyer tour there. If I switch over to sellers, I have my listing or my CMAs here. I open this one up, and you'll see it says Robert Watson CMA. I have the detailed listing pages here, the MLS pages. You can zoom in, see all the details of all the homes that you're comparing it to that are currently on the market in competition, any homes that have sold very recently. And the reason that we can use this during the listing appointment to talk about pricing is that if the client says, well, gosh, that home down the street that's on the market, I think my house is worth more than that. And I say, well, you know what? I just so happen to have all the details here. Let's look at the details of that home and see, gosh, is your kitchen as updated as this one? Do you have stainless appliances? You guys get it. You're professionals. But I'm just showing you these are the tools that we're using to be able to really work with our clients on the pricing conversation. So that's one app that we're using if we need to have a deeper conversation about pricing. App number 2 is Skitch. So I'm going to open up Skitch, and we use this for 2 different reasons. Number 1 is when we're working with sellers, sometimes when you're discussing things, it's easier to show a client something than it is to just talk about it. And so if that's the case, we're going to use Skitch, which seems to be frozen on me, but we're going to use Skitch to be able to sketch out exactly what it is that we want to do. So, like, for example, I can come in here, load a new one, and say, you know what, we're going to talk about pricing, and let's talk about the market. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to draw a graph, and we're going to talk about our current market, and let's talk about exactly what's going on in the market. Because right now, inventory is at an all-time low. Buyers are really excited about the marketplace, which means that right now what's happening is that your price point is up here at the upper echelon. And the active days on market, you get my point. You can come in here, you can use Skitch to do this. You can even document everything in here, and you can finish your graph. You can point to different things and say, gosh, you see if we price here, this is what's going to happen if we need to price. And you can use this to really sketch it out with them, and then you can sign into your Evernote account, and it will save that right into Evernote, and then you can go into Evernote, and you can save it right into your client's notebook. And also, by the way, there is a Skitch notebook that they create and we'll have right here on your iPad. So you see this right over here. They have a Skitch notebook, so every time Skitch completes something, it comes right here into your Skitch account with Evernote. So you have an Evernote notebook here. Everything saves right down here. You know, if you want to show different things about where the location is, you can even, this is fun, you can even use Skitch to be able to document where the different things are and use this as marketing and lifestyle points when you're marketing the home. So that's another thing that we're using during the pricing conversation, is to really help our clients understand the market. You can import graphs in there, and you can draw on the graphs. I mean, it's so beneficial and helpful. You can use it any which way you need to. So that's part of step number 4. The last part of step number 4, which, by the way, I see a lot of agents skipping this, and I'm not quite sure why, but they're skipping the net sheet conversation. And so the client is left not understanding, well, what is my net? Well, how much money am I actually going to take away from this? So I'll show you, if we just back out here, you see the spreadsheets. I can open up the Robert Watson net sheet, and in here, on the fly, I can adjust anything. So if, for example, my client says, you know what, I thought my payoff was $335, it's actually less, it's $276, I can come in here, adjust that immediately, and check this out. It automatically adjusted the approximate balance due to the seller. And then now I can do another thing here, is I can walk through the net sheet with my client, show them what their net is. They can, most of them get really excited about it. And then what I can do is up here in the right corner, I can share this with my client. If I check this out, I can do 2 things. Number 1, I can email that to my client if I want to, or I can open this in another app. And guess where I'm going to open this in? I'm going to save this as a PDF. I'm going to choose the app, and I'm going to open this in Evernote. I love the animation there. Isn't that cool? You see it's dropping it right here into my Evernote notebook right there. And then what I'll do is I'll move that and put that right into Robert Watson's notebook. And stick around, because I've got a little bonus for you. I'm going to share with you why that's important. So you see this right over here? I saved it right there into the client's notebook. There's the net sheet as a PDF. So I always have this stored, and I know exactly what we talked about, what the net was, and my client's going to know, because guess what? I'm going to share this entire notebook with them, and I'll show you how we do that at the end of our presentation. So that is step number 4 of our 5-step listing appointment. Now, step number 5, this, as Krisstina says, this is where the magic happens. And where the magic happens is in 2 apps. And one is ZipForm. That is our form software. Wherever you are in the country, whatever form software you use. I saw earlier we actually have some folks here from Canada. We have, I think I saw one from UK. Well, whatever form software you're using, use that form software. And Docusign Inc. So I'm going to show you how we use these 2 together. So I'm going to open up ZipForm. I've got my client's listing agreement right here. I'll have it templatized, and then, you know, depending on the price point that we decide on, we'll come in here, we'll adjust the price. We'll say it's going to be $655. The listing agreement, you know, we're going to start that on January 25th, and we'll run that for a year, etc. Now I'm going to come right up here. I'm going to email this to myself, and the reason I'm emailing this to myself is ZipForms is, oops, didn't do it. I'm going to come back in here, grab that listing agreement, and send it to myself. And the reason I'm going to email this to myself is ZipForms is going to create a PDF out of this and zip it up and send it to me. Now I'm going to go back into my email inbox here, refresh this, and as that email comes in, you'll see right here, I'll need to download it. I'm going to hold my finger on it. I'm going to open it. This time, I'm going to open this in Docusign Inc. So I'm going to open it in Docusign Inc. and I'm going to get a signature from my client while I'm at the listing appointment. So I'm going to say this is Bob Watson and bob@gmail.com. I'll put his full name. I'm going to submit that. I'm going to come up here into the top right section. Oops, I don't want a remote signer. So once I get this done, I'm going to come up here into the send or into the in-person signers. Submit that. Post to signing. What Docusign is doing right now is it's preparing that document, and look at that animation. They have some really fun animation here. I'm going to go ahead and begin signing. I hand the iPad to Bob, and we go through the listing agreement. Then I say, all right, what you do is you grab onto the initial here, you drag it down everywhere I tell you to, draw your initials, come in. You can do that. You can even do it in different colors if you want. Adopt it. And this is the fun part, because now the client is interacting with the technology in a way that they're wowed by this. Even if they have an iPad, they likely have never seen an iPad used in this manner. And so they're coming through here, they're dropping their initials everywhere, they'll come on down to where they need to sign to accept the listing agreement. And this is really exciting, especially if you have two sellers. This is really fun, because this is where they really get to play with each other and say, gosh, you know what, Bob? Let's see your signature today. Because signing on an iPad with your finger is not really intuitive. Look how awful that is. Well, quite often, with couples, one of them will come down here and be really embarrassed, and they'll play with it and say, you know what, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to do it in blue. And this just makes it fun. You know, it's no longer like them signing their life away. They're making it fun, and you saw the signature was dropped right there. We can even zoom in and see exactly what the signature looks like. If you want to drop a date in there, you can come up here and click on Date Signed and drop the date. Then they come up here, they select Finish, Confirm Signing, and then it's going to say, okay, hand the iPad back to Gary. So pass it back to Gary. Great. Gives me the iPad, and I can do a couple of different things here. I can email it to them if I want to, or guess where we store everything? I'm going to open this in Evernote. So I'm going to open that up into Evernote. Saw the animation again there. It's going to pop it in there in a PDF. And then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure I go back into my seller with Robert Watson. Come down here, check out the listing agreement, open that up. You can open up the PDF. Everything is stored right here. And all of a sudden, what you're seeing is everything is stored right here in Robert Watson's notebook. And that's how easy it is. Oh, here's the listing agreement. That was the contract. But that's how easy it is to be able to store absolutely everything right here in Evernote. And then check this out. I'm going to share one more thing with you, and then I have a surprise guest I'm going to share with you. If you go into your notebook here, right here in the top right corner, this is an exceptional way to keep your clients satisfied and updated. No longer do they call you saying, hey, Gary, man, what is going on? I don't have a copy of the listing agreement. I don't know. Can you send me the net sheet again? This is a great way, by the way, after closing to stay in touch with your clients. And then up here, what you can do right here is you can go up here and share the entire notebook with your clients. So they always have the notes of exactly what you guys talked about, a copy of the net sheet. They have all of the photos that you took. They're totally updated the entire time by inviting them to that notebook. And your clients, every single, you can even send this. You can show them, hey, I'm going to share this entire notebook with you. You add them to it before you even leave the house. So you add them to it, and then what happens is invariably what the client's going to do is they're going to say, wow, holy cow, that was amazing, that was so cool. We hear that all the time. Talk about wowing your clients. Excuse me. So that is the 5-step listing appointment. One question a lot of people have for us is, well, you know, what about storing things after the fact? What about collaborating with everybody during the transaction? What about a system to where I can have all my documents stored and share that with everybody in the transaction? Well, today I have a little special guest. He's not little, but I do have a special guest. And before I bring him on, I want to explain something. The 3 apps that are must-have, I think you got the 2 so far, are Evernote and Docusign Inc. The 3rd app that is a must-have, by the way, this is my triangle of power here on my iPad. I set them up this way because this is my energy triangle. The 3rd app is Cardivi. So a little fun here. We're going to hand control over to the founder and owner of Cardivi. He is joining us on this webinar so he can talk to you guys and share his amazing technology. Glenn Shimkus, I'm going to bring him on here, and as he's coming on, I want everybody to welcome him and pronounce the name of his company with me, Cardivi. Go ahead and say it out loud. Cardivi. That's fun. All right, Glenn Shimkus, are you there, my friend?
I am here, Gary. Can you hear me?
I can. I'm going to hand the presentation over to you so you can share with everybody here on the webinar some amazing technology that you have. I think we have about 7 minutes for you to be able to do this, so rock through it there, Glenn.
You got it. So can you see my screen, Gary, on your side here?
Oh, that looks fantastic. Absolutely.
Excellent. So seeing that we're talking about mobile, love mobile, and thanks, by the way, for having us a part of the session today. And it's Cardivi. You got it. It's right. We are also known as Cartavi, but Cardivi is the pronunciation we go with. So right now, what you have in front of you on your screen is the my iPhone and iPad, and both of these are live. And what I want to show you is how to take all of those documents that we've been kind of going back and forth on, how to use Cardivi to store and share them. And so what I'm going to do is show you on both my iPhone and iPad here access to Cardivi. And you'll see something, actually there's some new things. If those of you are using Cardivi today, you'll see we've got some new things coming in the next couple of days, but we have added a passcode so you can quickly get into Cardivi instead of having to enter your email address and password. And so those are coming up here. And you can now see my iPad, and my iPhone is coming up right behind it here. So Cardivi is basically a solution that provides you one place to store and share and sign all the documents that you have driving your transactions. And especially mobile is important to us. And so we have apps for the iPhone, iPad, Android phone, and Android tablet, all available today, all free today, and you can find them in the App Store. And what it does is it allows you to have all of the documents for any of your transactions at your fingertips, wherever you are. Now, Cardivi is on the web as well, but seeing that the topic today is, being paperless, and certainly mobile is a component of that, what I want to show you is actually how I can get to a particular transaction while I'm on the go. So I'm going to go into 941 Park Avenue, both on my phone and on my tablet here. And it looks like I've got a little bit of a lag between the screen as I'm showing it and what you're seeing on there. So let's see how long this takes here. Actually, let me see if I can adjust this really quick here. So what we want to be able to do is show you, it looks like there's a lag between my desktop and what I'm seeing on my iPad. So what we'll try and do is, let's see if this works one more time. If not, we're going to switch over to the web. So there's my phone. All right, so that's not working. So what I'm going to do, Gary, is I'm going to switch over here to the web, and I'm going to go to that same property here, 941 Park Avenue. Okay. It's like my screen is lagging here. So 941 Park Avenue, and I'm on the web, and we can do this on the iPad and iPhone as well. And what we can see is all of the documents and all of the people that are a part of the particular transaction room. And from wherever I am, whether it's my phone or my tablet, I can get access to those particular documents. For example, the marketing brochure for this particular property. And so when I'm in here, I can actually see who's done what with this particular document. Because I added the document, I can determine who in this particular transaction room sees the document. So right now, for example, Franklin, Lori, and Sally can see the document. And if I want my sellers, Jennifer and Kevin, to see the document, they can now see this particular document in the transaction room in Cardivi. And if, for example, you're working with an individual who does not wish to use Cardivi, maybe not comfortable with technology, just prefers working with email and fax, that's okay, because again, when we talk about experience, it's not just our experience as an agent, for example. It's about the experience of the buyer, seller, the partner. And so this allows you to actually work with them in the manner that they wish to be worked with. So you can actually email documents from Cartavy, and you can also fax documents from Cartavy. So you have one place to work from Cartavy, and you can share documents with folks the way that they want to be worked with. And so within this particular transaction room here, I have the ability to store the documents, to share them with people that are a part of this particular transaction room, as well as to email and fax if they choose not to work with Cartavy, as I've chosen in this particular transaction room. Let me see if I can go back over to my mobile and see if that's live, and it looks like it is. So let's see if I go to that same document now on my iPad. It looks like it's working here. The delay isn't there. I can see that particular document from wherever I am, and I can share that particular document. So there's a key down here, and it looks like it's coming up. So if I click the key, I can share the document. And on my phone right now, you can see I faxed actually the document to myself, so I was notified that the fax arrived. I can share the document, and there's my fax as well on my tablet. And I can email documents as well as fax them from wherever I am. And so we're getting a little bit of a lag here between the screens, but the key is wherever you are, your documents are with you. And beyond that, we've actually integrated Docusign into Cartavy. So whether you're on the phone, the tablet, or the web, you have the ability to access the signed documents. And literally, if you're working on your phone, if you're working on your tablet or on the web, you can actually create and manage your Esign envelopes. So in this particular transaction room for 941 Park Avenue, I can actually create and manage that Esign envelope. I can associate documents with it. I can add people to it. And so again, I have one place. And just kind of as a little bit of a preview, this isn't public yet, but we'll be announcing it shortly. Today what you would do is you'd plug your Docusign credentials into your Cartavy account. Starting next month, you won't even need to have a Docusign account. If you don't have a Docusign account already, you can actually add the eSign option onto your Cartavy account and use Docusign's technology without having to have both a Cartavy and a Docusign account. So again, what we're trying to do is bring together that experience for everybody. So Gary, you there?
I am, and I'm giving a virtual clap to you on the integration of Docusign in there, because what you just did is you are taking away my triangle of power, but it's basically going to be two apps now that you absolutely must have, and that's Cartavy and Evernote as soon as that rolls out, because you won't even need the Docusign Inc. app anymore because it's all right there on your iPad.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing, Gary, is sometimes you're going to want to use Docusign Inc. You've got someone sitting right in front of you. And with Cartavy, literally you could take a document from our iPhone or iPad app or Android as well, open it into Docusign Inc., get it signed, and literally in 2 clicks move it right back into Cartavy. Or if you need to send something off for signature when someone's not in front of you, you can actually use the envelope component, the full Docusign, and get it done that way. So either way, Cartavy is tightly integrated with Docusign, and really our goal is to make your experience as an agent seamless and make it so that it's a tool that you can use. And our goal is we don't want you to have to learn a technology. We want to make sure the technology works for you in the manner that you're comfortable with.
That is awesome. Glenn, I see clap, clap. There's so many comments here in the question section that are applauding you. Well done. I'm going to take back control because there are so many questions here. I think Victor and I need to hop back over and make sure that we get all of the questions answered. Glenn, thank you so much for sharing Cartavy with us and everything going on there. If you can stick around, we might have some more questions for you as well.
I'll be here.
Please do. And Gary, thank you so much. I mean, I think that you guys did an exquisite job of being able to show everyone on the call today exactly how all of this is possible. One of the things that that always happens when you do a webinar like this is we get flooded with, I'm looking here at 50 or 60 questions about how do I do this, follow-up questions about this. Gary, you guys have taken all of this information, you put it into a training program. Can you tell me what are some of the specific things that you know how to do on an iPad that can help agents do their business today?
Absolutely. So there are several steps that need to take, and literally, in my interpretation, there are literally 2 steps that you need to take to get started to really become a paperless agent. Because if you want to be able to do this and use all of this information, like this is the Cartavy app that he was talking about that's so powerful and shows all the people involved, if you want to be able to use these processes and the systems in the way that we have designed them, what we've done is we took this and we have spent the past year actually developing what we call the Paperless Agent iPad for Real Estate training series. And what that is it is a full training series that allows you to learn about absolutely everything step to step, like soup to nuts, beginning as soon as you buy the iPad all the way through truly becoming a master of it. And what it is like I said, it's online training that we've developed. It's 64 online modules, and what we've done today is we have just barely scratched the surface, and it is step-by-step detailed training of how to become a paperless agent. And one thing Victor asked us is, hey, I'd like to be able to offer everybody on the call a little special that if they truly want to become paperless and take care of their customers in this mobile technology, in this mobile world, in this digital age, what is it that we do to help them? And so what we've done is we've got this special offer. You guys, you can do this today. Basically what it is you're going to get all of this training from now until eternity for 2 payments of $99, and we're also going to give you $139 free bonus, and that is we're going to give you the entire module set of I Just Bought an iPad, Now What? And what that does is it helps you learn about the iPad and set it up. And a little bonus here, I talked to Glenn before the webinar. Glenn, we're going to offer everybody a special Good Life Team discount. Anybody who signs up for this today, you're going to get a special discount. And I think that discount, Glenn, they're going to get 50% off for the first 6 months of their membership with Cartavy. So instead of paying $10 a month, you're only going to spend $5 a month to master Cartavy and wow your clients there. So so if you guys want to do that, you can do that. And what you can do is you go to thepaperlessagent.com/iPad, and you're going to get all of that today. You'll have access to the training. You'll have it as soon as you purchase it. And also, in just a little bit, I'm going to share with everybody exactly what it looks like. I want you to see what the training looks like as we go through and answer your questions. I also, in the chat section, I just typed in the link there. You can go to thepaperlessagent.com/iPad, and that will get you absolutely everything there. All right, so Victor, that's step number 1. Step number 2 is if you don't have an iPad or a tablet, you got to go get one. so that's step number 2. Step number 1, sign up for the training, go through it, make sure you like it. By the way, we also have a 100% satisfaction guarantee for the first 30 days. So if you go through it and you're not satisfied or you realize I don't want to do this, we'll give you your money back. So there's no reason not to try this. We want you to be 100% satisfied. Krisstina, who normally speaks through this, is so passionate about helping all of the agents throughout the country elevate their business, generate more referrals, and provide a 5-star experience to the customer. That's our mission here, is to help agents do that and make more money. And so that's the power behind what we're doing.
So, how many people are really doing this today? I mean, is this something that agents need to do now? Is this something that's really going to put a ton of value in their business? I always like to ask the question, is it a vitamin? Is it a painkiller? I mean, how do you see this affecting your business as you compete in your local market there in Austin?
Well, that's a good question, because we've been doing this here for 2 years, and nobody in Austin at the time had an idea of how to do this. A lot of them have taken our training. A lot of people, in fact, to date, well over 2,500 realtors throughout the country have been through our training and are doing this, which means that it's very likely somebody in your marketplace is doing this, but you can get signed up and get rolling with this today and get ahead of the curve. I mean, people are doing it. They understand that the future is digital. I was talking to somebody the other day, and he said, yeah, this is adapt or die time, because if we don't adapt to the technology that our clients are using and demanding from us, we're going to die as realtors, and other companies are going to come in and just wipe us out, and we don't want that to happen. We want to be able to provide this service to the customers, and that's how you do it.
So a question that recurred a lot is, how do I get these templates? Are those part of the training? Is that in there, or do people have to create their own?
Well, most people have their own templates, and what I can tell you is we do have a lot of templates that our agents and our team have created. We've created them for our team here, and what I will tell you is that we're going to be offering those templates in the future to everybody, so you'll be able to, if that's something that you want in the future, you'll be able to have those templates, and you can use them as well. Or in our training step by step, I actually take people through and show them how to create their own templates or to copy ours. So you can absolutely do that.
Cool. The second most popular question today, and Glenn, I think you struggled with this a little. By the way, welcome. You're a welcome surprise as always. But so you struggled a little bit with internet connectivity. I mean, how much, or does all of this work seamlessly if you don't have a connection to the internet?
Yeah, and actually the situation there, oddly enough, was actually not internet. It was communication between my iPad and iPhone and my computer. So not sure what was happening. I can actually see everything fine on my devices. It just wasn't reflecting properly on the on my screen. But yeah, it is about being connected and connectivity. Everything is in the cloud, and so the reality is, whether it's Wi-Fi or cellular on your phone, you would need some sort of connection in order to access the information.
What about other tools like Docusign and Evernote, the other tools that you guys use all the time, Gary? Do I have to be connected to the internet for those things to function correctly?
Evernote, you can actually have offline, but Docusign, anything we recommend. So that's a great question, because I see a lot of questions like, which iPad do I buy? And that's kind of like the lead into that is, which one do I buy? We highly recommend, as a minimum, you get the iPad 2 with Wi-Fi and 3G, because you are going to need internet to be able to use your iPad in this mobile world to get this done. If you really want like the coolest, newest technology, go get the brand new iPad. It's absolutely stellar. It's fast. It's beautiful, and make sure that you get 4G with it.
Yeah, I have the 4G with. Yeah, it's really cool. And with the iPad, you recommend the full size or the small version, or does it matter?
That's a great question. We're testing out the iPad Mini right now. So far it's splendid. It is fantastic. It is beautiful. It's fast. It's smaller. It's easy. I think at this point it's going to be a personal preference to you. I personally like the larger iPad because I like the larger screen. Krisstina prefers the Mini.
And then, do you guys test other tablets, or is the iPad your horse? Some people are saying, should I get the iPad or something else?
Yeah, the iPad is our horse, and that's what we train on. And here's the thing. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, said it best. He said, we just keep things simple. It's easier, it's more intuitive than Android devices, and that's why we adapted it. It's so easy. I was always a PC person, so I was Windows all the way, and then when this iPad came out, I got it, and I got the iPhone, and I started testing it out. Mac products are so intuitive. That's what we recommend. It lowers that learning curve significantly. And then I want to answer this one question, because I know we're getting close to the top of the hour. A lot of people are saying, hey, what does the training look like, and how long do I get it for? And so I logged in. This is exactly what your training looks like today. You're going to be able to log in. You come in here. We have instructions. There's a flow. You go through each video. Let me show you what it looks like. And by the way, you get this forever. So it's not like it's a monthly fee. It's not that you get it for 90 days. You pay 2 payments of $99, and you get this forever. And you also get all of our free upgrades, because we're going to be coming out shortly with a lot more updates. February 1, I think, is our rollout date. But you're going to get that upgrade for free. So, and by the way, the price is jumping from $198, which is the total price, to $347. So if you want to take advantage of this, I highly recommend that you sign on now. But you see right here, this is exactly what it looks like. You're going to see you can go into each app and jump through and learn about every single app. You see the details of everything. We take you through step by step. You can pause the videos to learn more about exactly what it is that you need to do, and that's we make it as simple as we can. And I want people to be able to access this and really go through the training and learn, so you can really take better care of your customers. So you see this, we zoom in, we show you exactly, we teach you to train by having your iPad next to you so you can open it and everything. And so it's simple, it's easy to learn. You just have to dedicate an hour a day for 5 weeks. Just get up in the morning, do it for an hour before you start prospecting, and at the end of 5 weeks, man, you're going to be probably better at using the iPad than I am.
So again, what's the URL to go to get your training, and then the Cardivi promotion? How do people get to that? Again, there's a lot of people.
Great. So if you want if you want to join this today, go to the paperlessagent.com/iPad. I typed it into the chat section there, and I'll do that again. You can actually just go into the chat section, click on the hyperlink, and it'll take you in, and just click on Buy Now. And what's going to happen is when you purchase, we're going to send out an email, and we're going to make sure that you get logged in for the I Just Bought an iPad Now What promotion as well. You're going to get all of those modules for free. And in that email, we're going to give you the Cardivi discount code. So you're going to get all of that once you sign up for that.
And then what is the cost of Evernote? I know that you don't sell Evernote, but
double E. It is free.
And then some agents are saying, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's free for a limited amount of data. If you want to upgrade, I think it's like $45 for the entire year to have the Pro version.
Okay. And then there's a question here about using Dropbox versus Evernote versus iBooks. Do you want to articulate the difference?
Oh, yeah, there's a ton of differences. So Evernote is just where we store everything, all of our notes. So imagine, if you will, taking your file folder that has all of your notes about your clients, all the updates, all the details of their home. That's where we store everything in Evernote with both buyers and sellers. So that's one. Cardivi is totally different because that's where we store all of our transactional data, any contracts, any updates to that, and we collaborate with other people during the transaction. It's a powerful collaboration tool. You collaborate with your buyers, your sellers, the inspectors, the appraisers, the other agents, attorneys, title companies, everybody. You just, anytime you update a note in there and like upload a document, you can give access to certain people and not other people. It's so powerful and cool. And then Dropbox or Box.net or anything like that, that's an online, that's cloud storage. So basically what that is that, imagine it's like your hard drive stored off of your computer to where you can then access that stuff everywhere. So vastly different uses of these technologies. And the great thing is that in our training we take you through details of exactly what we recommend step by step of how you use them. It's not like, this is not app training. What it is it is detailed process and system training for all of it.
Excellent. So it is the top of the hour. We're running a little over. We're going to continue to stay on here and ask additional questions for those of you who'd like to. If your question hasn't been answered yet, we'll probably get to it. We're going to conclude the section of our webinar where we're recording now today. We encourage everyone to go to the paperlessagent.com/iPad if you're interested. If you want to take this information that was shared here today and use it in your own business, you can do that. We have, I can affirm for you that all of the information here about how the Good Life team is using these tools to effectively go paperless in real estate, to provide outstanding customer service, and to really leverage the iPad as a business tool is 100% available through this training series. So it's really cool that you guys have put all this together in a way that allows agents to absorb it, because everything that you went through on this webinar today is a tremendous amount of information that could never possibly be consumed in one setting. So I really thank you guys for doing that. And Glenn, it was great for you to show up. Are there any other, before some of the people drop off and we get back into